All right, we're back. I think this is the first episode of the year, right?
Yes, it is.
First episode of the year, back 3 the hard way. Did you guys have a good New Year's?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. How about yourself?
I stayed in. I did the right thing. Shout out to everyone that didn't on IG. That was like wilding out. I did the right thing and stayed at home.
Oh no, people was outside for New Year. They made sure they got their last pieces of COVID before coming into the new year.
Yo, it just sucks when you like know people and you see like it's just super messed up. But anyway, we're back. We're healthy.
Everyone's back. Everyone's healthy. We starting the year off right.
We're starting the year off right, and a lot happened already, so we'll kick it off. Starting with LeBron hinting at putting together an investor group to go buy the Atlanta Dream. Did you guys get a chance to see that?
Yes.
There's a lot that happened in news when that dropped.
What happened?
Yeah.
There was a lot that happened like in politics when that dropped, when that news dropped.
Oh yeah. There's been a lot going on over the last 24 hours in this country. There's been a lot of weird shit going on.
Yeah, America's wilding out right now. It's Jersey Shore status for America right now.
It is Jersey Shore. It's embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing. So, somebody said earlier today that there's other countries looking at us right now like, oh, all it took was people to walk up to the Capitol building and they were just able to get in. That's all it takes. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll take note of that. And I was like, oh, cool. Just thank you for exposing us and letting everybody else know that it's easy to just do what the hell we want here.
Yo, I saw a tweet that said like name things that have more security, and it's like, I don't know if you guys have been to Walmart. I haven't been to Walmart since the pandemic started, but the beauty section at Walmart is like on lockdown. Like you need to call someone to get some makeup, and it's like, damn, like how is this more secure than that?
You gotta fucking call 311 to get lipstick or something like.
But anyway, I think it inspired a lot of change, and I think the Georgia politics definitely inspired a lot of change, and some of that change coming from LeBron himself. I'm not surprised that LeBron like thought of this, but it's a pretty big ask. I feel like he's someone that's always been very dominant in being one of the frontline voices on speaking out on social justice issues, and yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see what Kyrie has to say next. Going back to our last episode of just Kyrie just heels of LeBron, just trying to be that guy. No, but seriously, to kind of, for anyone who's listening that isn't familiar with the LeBron situation with that, Kelly Loeffler is the senator, the Republican senator, well, former Republican senator, just lost to John Ossoff or whatever today. But she is also the owner of the WNBA Atlanta team, the Atlanta Dream. The kind of crazy thing about her is, in that whole situation, if no one knows, her husband is the president of the New York Stock Exchange, and like she herself is worth over $1 billion net worth. And
that's a lot of money, man. To be the president of the fucking stock exchange, like
huge, huge Trump supporter. Take that for what it is, but also is openly against, any kind of relief for people who are unemployed or suffering right now. So because of all of that, because of her stance and political views, the Atlanta Dream did their protest. They are wearing the Black Lives Matters t-shirts and warm-ups and taking the knee and very outwardly speaking against the owner of their team. Like, I couldn't imagine how that would happen. If this was the NFL, what they would be doing, I could not imagine like how Goodell and all of the media would be handling it. But I mean, what do you guys think about like them actively like speaking out against their team owner in such a way? I think it's incredible. And that's kind of the pre-story to LeBron saying what he said.
Bro, like, I was thinking about that earlier today. Like, imagine being an owner of a basketball team, and mind you, that lady Kelly Loeffler, she probably doesn't give a fuck about basketball. We're being completely honest. She probably just saw that as a business expense. It's probably a tax write-off to her. She doesn't care about basketball. But then at the same time, it's like, I own this team, and everybody on this team hates me. Like, I'm clearly not a good person. Like, if everybody on a team that you own, whether it's the players, whether it's the coaches, the management, if they don't fuck with you, like, there's clearly something that you're doing that's wrong and that's ticking them off. So, like, for the players to come out and be so open about being against the owner, and then she still has to cut those checks every single week and make sure that they get paid. Like, that's kind of a crazy situation to be in. I've never seen that other than the Donald Sterling situation with the Clippers, but that was a whole other thing there. But for LeBron to put an investment group together, if he's able to do that, if he's able to get people powerful enough to buy that team, that'll be big. Like, to buy that team and just cash her out and be like, yo, we're gonna own this from now on.
Yeah, and I would even add to that too, something to keep in mind is the WNBA has been very consistent in speaking out and being vocal with all social justice issues. Like, for the WNBA to dedicate the 2020 season with a platform, what's the name of the platform? The Justice Movement. This is an entire organization, an entire league that is coming together to amplify their voices and their leadership with their players all behind. Like, that's when you saw like the hashtag Say Her Name campaign. That's why you have like the Atlanta Dream saying, you know, with the black shirts that say vote Warnock. I feel like the WNBA are like, they're what every player, I feel like, wishes they can almost be as vocal in. Because if you think about it, there's no league, there's no teams that have that kind of unity when it comes to having a shared message. They cross cultures, they cross ages. It's definitely possible. And they just don't give a fuck. Like, this shit doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for us to be divided as a country and for people to look the other way on it. When you have a team that can come together and fight for, you know, a shared, it's not even, it's a right. Come together and you know, fight for what's right for everyone. I think it's a beautiful thing to see, and for LeBron to amplify everything that they're doing and draw even more attention. Because LeBron could have talked about the game tomorrow. He could have talked about his sneakers dropping. He decided to focus his celebrity spotlight into what these women are doing, and then add to that and say, okay, I might even buy this team.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's cool that he does that. Like, it'll be better if more people get to do that. And obviously, people on social media, on the internet, they always turn what LeBron does into like some kind of like self-righteous thing. Like, I see people always say like, oh, he always turns things into himself or talks about himself and all that. But it's not even about that. Like, if LeBron puts out a message like that about the WNBA and what they're doing and what he plans on doing in order to amplify their voices, and you take that message as like, oh, he's only doing it for himself, then you're part of the problem. Like, he's clearly doing something that nobody else is doing. Not even the WNBA amplifies the voices of their players like that. Not even the organization does that. So, like, just let him do what he wants to do. Hopefully, he's able to buy the team, and then the Atlanta Dream, like you said, Denise, the WNBA is in the forefront of everything. Those women have been the ones to set the tone on everything that's been going on in America for the last 2-3 years. When it comes to social justice. So fuck it, do it, buy them.
Yeah, I think like even a broader stroke, like Georgia as a whole, you know, the things that Atlanta has overcome and where were just 30, 20, 10 years ago to where they are now, where it's like, you know, the way that the runoff elections were created was because it was basically a white power kind of election process, where it's what they wanted to do is if they had like a senator losing votes to a black candidate, they wanted to then take it to the next phase so that they would weed out those the black people, the voters, whoever voted for the black candidate, and put it back towards these two white runoffs. And that's what the runoff was. And just overall though, like in terms of Atlanta, just getting through that type of stuff, where we are fast forward today, where you have Warnock, who just got elected, their senator, and Ossoff, the Jewish white senator, who's brand new as well. Like that community in a whole, to me, is such a great kind of like microcosm of what our generation is becoming for the United States. And it's great to see like the WNBA, because like still realistically, the WNBA is pretty new. Mm-hmm. But Denise, you hit us on, like they have always been kind of on the front lines of speaking out, and to kind of like wrap this all up and pull us back into like full circle. It's like LeBron realizing his value in spoken word and the choice of when he decides to open up and be vocal, him thoroughly acknowledging the value in that and kind of making sure he does it strategically really does bring a lot of weight to that comment. It really does bring a lot of weight to the WNBA. It really breathed another kind of light to Kelly Loeffler and the negative aspects of that. And I just hope he actually does something with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing to kind of say something and kind of like, ooh, tip the interest of us and get us talking about it and get people talking about it. I hope that someone like him, maybe he teams up with Jordan and they do something like, right? Like MJ is constantly diversifying his portfolio. He just, you know, bought a racing team with Denny Hamlin and Bubba Watson, but I forget the driver.
Yeah. Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace. Thank you. Sorry. I'm in golf mode at all times because of COVID, but you know, why not Jordan and LeBron, and they find, you know, a few other people like JP, right? Like I'm sure these people we could find something to go there. But long story short, I love seeing people in a position to speak out and collectively makes change happen. I think that our generation is the first generation to really like react positively to that.
I agree. And I think a good cap to this is just the way that the NBA came together and take a knee during each one of the games. Like you had the Celtics and the Heat kind of kick it off. Then you had the Bucks and the Pistons, and then the Warriors and the Clippers followed suit. Like everyone coming together for something that needs to be talked about more is good to see, because you're right. Sometimes these owners don't have they don't have the interest of the players, and it doesn't come as a surprise. But to have these players go against that, recognize their value, and take a stance together, regardless of being in opposing teams, regardless of having, you know, opposing views on certain things, like that was a really beautiful thing to see, and have all of them just take a knee like they did.
Yeah, and like I think we all kind of like see eye to eye on all this, and I think that's kind of like, these are kind of like the topics that maybe aren't so basketball centric, but to kind of like expand a little bit to our listener, these are kind of the things that we kind of collectively, when we were conceptualizing this podcast, it's like, it's not just about the NBA. It's not just about college. It's not just about basketball. The whole thing is about basketball as a culture, right? Like we wanted to talk about basketball as a culture. And I just want to preface this for the listener, because this is a little off topic, but however, today is a pretty interesting day. And the idea of basketball bringing so many different people from different walks of life, no matter where you come from, together. It's like all of my best, closest friends I met playing basketball, every single one.
Facts.
In a roundabout way, we all met because of basketball, right? Our appreciation for it, our collection of the culture, whether it be sneakers, whether it be clothes, whether it be whatever. It's like all three of us met in an intertwined way through basketball. Yeah. And to me, it's like a lot of change and a lot of positive growth for our country is going to be shaped from the social influence of basketball. And it started in the 90s with the Bulls and Jordan. And like, we're now seeing the progression and like the full blossom, I feel like, of what it is, with athletes like Kobe stepping up, RIP Kobe, but Kobe stepping out, vocalizing, and kind of living a different type of life, of a different type of quality of life. Whether, I'm not saying it's like a wealth, but just like a different mental quality, like a mindset quality, right? The Mamba mentality. And now we're with LeBron, where it's like, listen, like we can do more, we can evolve society. And it's like, and again, it's like, I feel like basketball and sports in general have a huge part in that. And I think, although today is one of those days that, and we're kind of talking about a little bit more heavier, whatever political, social change things we probably normally will, I just kind of want to bring it all together. It's kind of like the point of our podcast, kind of how basketball is the culture for us, at least for me, whether it be sneakers, whether it be clothes, whether it be physical games, college, high school, WNBA, whatever. Like, I think that it's really interesting, and it's really nice to appreciate kind of what this sport has done for social change.
It's kind of crazy to look at it, like how basketball is the sport and the voice behind the people and the voice of change in this country. Like, it's like in a time where you would think that it would be politicians that would be doing that, or like let's say police officers, or however, just people that do like civil service work. You have the NBA and the WNBA doing the work for them, and they're the ones that are used. Yeah, it helped a lot, and people were saying like, oh, what is that gonna do? What's this gonna do? And it's like, man, like all those little things mattered. Like without the bubble happening, and without LeBron doing the more than a vote thing, where he used arenas as voting polls, Georgia would have never done this.
Yep. That's a great point. That's a really, really, really good point, because that was a big part of the negotiation, the player negotiation about coming back to the bubble that I'm sure not many people know. Like casual fans probably don't know that. A big part of that agreement was, listen, like the only way we're going to come back and be put on this platform to make money for y'all and for us, obviously, but to make money for y'all in the bigger scheme, we need to get something out of this in terms of for social justice, for Black Lives Matter. And that was a part of the caveat, was that in order for us to come back, you have to allocate so many stadiums, open up to these urban areas to allow for voting. And that happened. And that was because of LeBron and what he led to. And that's something that really didn't get reported on enough, but that is a really big deal.
Yeah, he didn't get enough credit for that and orchestrating everything that happened. And obviously all the politicians that had a hand in it, they're going to get the credit for it because they're doing all the groundwork, and they're the one dealing with the people and with the other politicians and all the corrupt work behind the scenes. But without basketball and without those women in the WNBA and LeBron James and the NBA, these things would have never happened. Georgia would have never been able to win off the Senate and maybe even turn blue. Who knows what would have happened? But hey, now I guess people can't say that basketball players never did anything for them. There it is.
Hey, shut up and dribble, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad to see this whole thing come full circle.
Yeah.
And like, big moral story of the day is basketball is the best sport in the world ever created, and it brings people together.
That's a fact.
All different walks of life, and it's evolving our country slowly but surely.
Fucking
in more ways than any other sport, for sure.
Yeah, for real.
But someone who isn't as optimistic for the future as we are is Markelle Fultz. Probably not the best transition.
Segue.
Hey.
But yeah, man. I mean, that's a tough. So just to bring you guys up to speed, he had literally the worst injury that you can happen that compromised the season for him. I forget he's only 22, you guys.
Well, not only is he only 22,
he's been in the league for 5 years.
Yeah, because there's so much drama with him, right? Like that rookie year was wild. But have you guys watched him play yet this year? He's only played like 7 or 8 games, but he looked good. Like,
yeah, he did. He looked excited.
All-star caliber good. Like he looks like what he looked like at Washington. Like damn, like you're really coming today. Like he's really balling out. It's real sad. Torn left ACL, out for the rest of the year. It's interesting the timing of these things, right? It's like this dude has gone through so much like trials and tribulations in just 3 years.
Yeah, especially for him in particular, like someone that not just physical injury. I feel like a lot of the problems with him that came with the physical injury was the mental aspect of it too. Like I feel like what happened with his shoulder and the bad surgery that happened to it, and then like how people were saying he forgot to shoot, whatever that means, like he forgot to shoot the basketball. Like That's all mental. So he had to retrain himself, his mind and his body, to be able to, I guess, play basketball again, whatever the case was. I guess we'll find out when his documentary comes out when he retires. But like whatever that case was, like he overcame that this year, and you could see it. He was
Yeah.
balling out this year, man. He's quick. He was able to hit the pull-up jumper again that he was hitting in college. He was finishing above the rim. He was
Yeah,
making
all
good
levels.
passes.
Yeah,
He
all
was
of
doing his thing this year, man. It sucked. It happened like in the first quarter of the game too.
First 5 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's terrible.
but you bring up a good point, Jimmy. I mean, and think about all the injuries that he has to forget about, because if not, it gets in the way of your game. Like you start feeling like you're accident prone. It's like Derrick Rose, like the same way that, and he has like a really good article on Players Tribune where he talks about that and how it really fucks with your mind. And every move that you make, you're now tiptoeing on the line of, I want to do this, but I'm also risking getting hurt. So is it even worth it? And then, you're constantly fighting yourself instead of the other team. It's just really unfortunate because, like you said, John, like he looked good and he was excited to come back and was coming in hot.
Yeah. But segueing into looking good, though, that gives a lot of opportunity for two interesting people on that roster. And this is what the beauty and pain of sport, right? Somebody goes down, it's terrible for them, but it opens up more opportunity for other people who maybe didn't have enough minutes or whatever. So that's two people on that roster that are going to get a huge boost. The biggest person that's going to benefit the most is one of me and Jimmy's favorite rookies, like Cole Anthony. It's someone that, I was kind of like teasing Jimmy all preseason about the Knicks needed to make that pick. They had an opportunity. They don't make the pick.
I was so pissed, man. I wanted the Knicks to take him, even though Emmanuel Quickly has played well the few games that he has played for them, and Obi Toppin looked good, I guess, in the preseason, and I think one game he played so far this year, or 2 games. Even though they looked all right in the short sample, like I still preferred Cole Anthony to them.
I mean, Cole Anthony, it's interesting though the way he's playing. Like he clearly has a motive when he's on the court. And you see this with certain players, right? Like it's literally, I'm gonna get mine.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that's gonna work for them. They're first in their division right now. They're 6-2. They're balling. Like they're really doing well. They won tonight. Orlando's playing really well tonight, like in general, not just tonight. But for me, it'll be very interesting to see if his game will evolve this season now that he has more playing time and he's not coming off the bench. Because it seemed like whenever he came in, like he was just gunning. Like this dude was green light for days, shooting on 4 people, going 1-on-5. So it'll be interesting to see if he evolves into an actual like facilitator and scorer team player. But the bigger opportunity and the more minutes it's going to go to is Terrence Ross, who is having, we talked about this off camera a little bit before this, and it's like he's having a 6 man of the year kind of year. Like he's
that's a human torch.
Yeah, he's averaging 20 points a game. But that's all he is a shooter, right? 20 points a game, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. However, he's shooting 41% from 3, 48% from the field goal, 92% from free throw, and he's playing at a 21% efficiency. Like absolutely amazing.
He's a super efficient scorer, man. Like
coming off the bench, it's crazy efficiency.
And it's good to see, like it's good to see when guys finally figure out what their role is and what they're supposed to be doing in the NBA. Like I feel like Terrence Ross finally realized, like, all right, cool, I'm a bench guy, but when I come off the bench with the second unit, I'm gonna get mine.
Green light.
And I like that the coach lets him get that. Like the coach is like, all right, second unit coming in, Terrence Ross is coming in. You know what it is already. He's getting his buckets.
Yeah.
All the plays are for him.
But that's a big part of it, right? Like that's being able to. I think that's a big part of like the importance of a coach. Really, is being able to communicate to your players roles and classifying roles and getting people to be excited about their role and getting people to buy in. That's what people mean by like buying into a system. It's like the system is whatever is going to make the machine work the most efficiently to move forward, right? And it's like everyone has their role and responsibility, and Terrence Ross has figured that out. He is playing the best he's played arguably in his entire career.
Yeah, he's killing it this year so far, man. I think Cole Anthony's gonna have a good year this year. Now that Markelle's not going to be there for the rest of the season, I think Cole Anthony now, if
Good
if
year.
they let him if they let him learn from his mistakes, if they let him go out there and they don't pull him after making turnovers or taking a bad shot, like you have to let him play through that. If you drafted this guy like in the first round and you have high hopes for him, you have to let him learn. So like he makes a couple bad passes, he takes a couple bad shots, let him go out there, let him learn, man. Like this is the NBA. Like go get it back on defense and then go
Here's
make
a,
a better decision.
here's a very interesting stat. And growing up a point guard as myself, the biggest stat coaches, emphasized to me was this assist to turnover ratio. And as young players, your assist to turnover ratio is like 1-to-1, right? With Eric Gordon, like it's like fucking negative. The guy's got like 1 assist to 4 turnovers. No disrespect to Eric Gordon, but that's just how it is. Cole Anthony, averaging 3.4 assists and 0.9 turnovers a game. That's a
Good.
3-to-1 turnover ratio. That's really impressive for a
Yeah.
rookie in the NBA who's playing over 20 minutes a game. That's absolutely incredible. Only downfall is his shooting percentages are absolute garbage. 30% from field goal, 24% from three.
Yeah, but you see,
terrible.
but all that, like even the assist to turnover ratio, that's gonna fluctuate a lot because now he's gonna have the ball in his hand more. So now he has to orchestrate the offense. So I feel like his field goal percentage is gonna go up. I think he's gonna end up at the end of the season maybe like about 42% from the field, I'll say. And I think from three he'll be like about 30, 31. I don't think he'll be a great 3-point shooter this year. I think he'll be like about 30, 31 this year because he's a rookie. He's going to take a lot of bad shots. He's going to take a lot of bad threes. But I think from the field, he'll end up like about 40 something from the field, like the low 40s for him. But, like for these guys, it's rare for a rookie to come in and shoot over like 46% from the field and have that and have the assist turnover ratio that he has right now coming off the bench. So it's going to change for him, obviously, throughout the year, but I think he's going to be all right.
Speaking on that trajectory, it's interesting because last week you had mentioned about the Brandon Ingram, JJ Redick podcast, and I ended up listening to it. And the biggest thing I took away from that, when it's like kind of builds into your point of like your rookie year, it's so challenging to like shoot well from behind the arc. Ingram was saying how he didn't shoot threes because it was so much further than high school or whatever. He's like, I literally had to work and develop on building my core strength, building the footwork to be able to shoot threes in the NBA. Because he said the words he said was like, I felt like I was catapulting, slingshotting it to the rim. He's like, I felt like I was just chucking it at the rim.
He wasn't strong enough.
Yeah. And he's like, I just wasn't ready. And so like, that's something like when he got to New Orleans that they really worked on and developed him as his shooting. But anyways, it's a little off topic, but you're right though. Cole will get better. It's just the injury is sad for Markelle. However, it opens up more opportunities. It'll be exciting to see Cole Anthony take advantage. He went from playing 21 minutes a game to playing 34 minutes tonight. So Cole Anthony's going to get a lot of more shine.
He better get ready.
Yeah. So speaking of ready, I think Marvin Bagley's been ready to play for a minute. Obviously, he's underperformed in Sacramento. According to his father, it would not be because of his performance or lack thereof. It's because of his lack of opportunity. Jimmy, I think how do you feel about this situation and maybe give us a little bit more insight on kind of exactly what his dad said.
Well, his dad tweeted the other night. I I want to say like Saturday or something like that. They had a game over the weekend, and his dad pretty much at the Kings on Twitter, and was like, "Yo, trade my son, like get him out of there." So like his dad has entered now this territory of like, okay, like your son's a grown adult playing for millions of dollars, and now you're jumping in front of him trying to get him traded. Well, first of all, let me start off by saying Marvin Bagley is not that good. So let me start off with just saying that. Like, he's not that good. And now your father's coming in and jumping in front of you. It's different if it was like fucking, like, let's say, LeBron James. Like, if his mom jumped in and was like, hey, trade my son. You guys aren't doing right by him. Like, it's completely different if LeBron's mom does that. LeBron be like, yeah, like, you know what? Like, just chill. Like right now, it looks like Marvin Bagley and his dad it looks like Marvin Bagley's just chilling there, and his dad's like doing all the talking for him, even though like he's not getting any playing time. Like Marvin Bagley's probably texting Luke Walton every day, like, how come my son only played 10 minutes a game today? Like, well, your son only played 10 minutes because your son can't shoot a jump shot or play any defense, or he looks lost. Just I was watching a couple of the games over the past week for the Kings. Marvin Bagley, it looks like he's lost out there. He looks like he doesn't know any of the plays. He can't shoot a three. He has a good touch, but he can't finish.
Is he lost? Is he lost or is he uninterested?
I think he's both.
Yeah.
It could be that, but at the same time, it's like the Kings are a bad team. So let's just say that. The Kings are a bad team. But since they're a bad team, now is when you get your shit off. Like, oh, they're terrible. Let me earn my money now. Like right now is when you're supposed to earn your max money for your next deal. And he's not proving that. Like, all right, if you're not playing as much as you want to, you're not part of the rotation as much as you want to, when you play, go show out. And he's been starting the last few nights, and he doesn't do anything with that.
He started every game so far.
You see? He doesn't do anything. He doesn't rebound well. He doesn't defend well. He's not a good passer. He really can't shoot. He's just really athletic. That's all it is. He's just super athletic.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's also a difference between his dad and LeVar in the sense that the dad just isn't as, and I mean this respectfully, I should say that, sorry, because he's a father at the end. I'm never going to be disrespectful. I say this respectfully. He's just not as relevant. Like, he's like that AAU dad. You know, I say it respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it.
You're right, though.
It's kind of like an AAU dad, and, you know, it's the big time. Like, this isn't like a little game. It's not daddy's game. Like, this is like the big league. Like, you just need to sit down, sir, talk to your son. Also, the tweets that Marvin Bagley has been putting out, it's not anything that's emotional. It's not anything that's impulsive where you're like, oh, here he goes again. Like, you know, in his feels. Like, these are calculated. These are like well thought out. Like, these are like some straight hits and disses. And it's just, when you're that calculated and you're dropping the bar as low as you are, you're not drawing a crowd. Like, everyone can read through how much thought is going into each tweet. And I would honestly much rather it just be emotion. Give me some typos, give me some shit that doesn't make sense. Like, you know, let me see your human side. Now you're just you're being ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like he's planning to get out of there, but you're not making a case for yourself or building your stock up to get traded. Like, at this point, if you are going to get traded, people aren't really interested in you because you're not really giving them any samples on what they're going to get if they get you. So at this point, it's like, in the words of who's the lady from the thing, from the news that says shut up and dribble?
Oh,
that is
her. In the words of Laura Ingram, Marvin Bagley, you need to shut up and dribble, man. Like, you go play ball, man. Go play ball.
Here's the interesting thing, if you guys are going to look at the numbers about it, because, like, from a casual viewer who's not watched all 7 of Sacramento's games this year, which I haven't because they suck, but, like, you would think that, maybe his minutes must have gotten cut. That's why they're upset. Turns out he is averaging 25 minutes a game. Last year, he averaged 25.7. The year before that, his rookie year, he averaged 25.3. The opportunity is the exact same. My initial thought was, Hassan Whiteside must be eating into his time. No, you're just not playing well. Your turnovers have doubled. You're not getting you've decreased in blocks, you've decreased in steals, decreased in assists. Your rebounding has improved by 0.5. Like, your percentage of free throws went from 80% last year to 58% this year. It's like, there's a few basic things you have to do to stay in the game from all positions, right? Number one is defense. If you play defense, and you don't put up 5 points, that's fine. You can still get minutes. The next
You're
thing
gonna
is
get
scoring.
paid too.
If you get to the
gonna
line
get
as a big man, 100%. It's like he's not doing the basic things as what is he playing a 3-4? He's playing the 4 primarily, but guards a 3 sometimes too. As a 4, you need to stretch the floor. So his 3-point percentages, damn, 26% from 3. That's not going to get it done. You got to shoot the 3 and rebound on long misses and defend. You're at 0.3 blocks a game, so you're not defending shit. You're at 5 rebounds defensively, so that's mediocre. That's not bad. And your 3-point ball is just not gonna cut it. So it's like, what is a trade gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. It's like another situation and another opportunity isn't going to make you a better player.
Yeah.
Like he has all the opportunity. And I have 2 friends that are Sacramento King fans. One of them is from Jersey and another one is from Sacramento. So every once in a while I'll talk to them about the Kings and I'll ask them about like what they think about the team and the roster and all that kind of stuff and how they're performing. And they say the same thing, like the guy's just not that good. He had a lot of hype coming out of high school, going into college, and then coming into the NBA. He had a lot of hype. He has not improved on anything. Like he's just collecting a check.
You know what elevated his stock the most, I feel like? At least what it did for me, meant like my visual eye of what elevated his stock was the Drew League. He went into the Drew League and absolutely put up like 35 on like DeMar DeRozan and like I think PJ Tucker, like absolutely destroyed in the Drew League. And I think that might have got him because that was at the height of like Drew League getting televised and not televised, but like YouTube was really popping with it. And I think that actually really did help him. But I thought that he was deserving of that pick. Like, I don't know. Long story short, though, back to Denise's original point about Markelle, the guy's only 21.
Yeah.
Shit, like 21. That's realistically, you're like a junior in college, maybe.
Yeah.
He still has another 2 years to develop, to grow, to get strength, to put on muscle. You never know what he could be. But the number one thing he needs to improve if he wants to play that like the modern day 4, he needs to shoot a 3. He needs to get on that Brandon Ingram routine and increase that jumper.
Or just go to the elbows and shoot some elbow jumpers or something, man. Like just add something to your game, add another dimension. Like the team looks awful right now and he's not making it any better for them.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where you see it sometimes with especially like younger players, the whole grass is greener situation. It's like it's kind of not how it works in your case. Like you're showing no one that you have any potential to improve or level up or anything. Like you're shooting yourself in the foot.
When your stats decline each year, that's not a recipe for longevity in any league. It's not good for you, Marvin.
At all. Yeah, that's not good at all.
Not good for you. You know what else is not good, Denise, is missing 2 back-to-back chances at winning a game. Segue. Lead us off. What are your thoughts on the Nets game and Kyrie and KD missing those attempts to win it?
I don't know. I think that I don't know you're dealing with 2 players who are very easy to target on the internet. You have, KD who has like the fake page, and you have Kyrie who's coming up with these conspiracies. So I'm literally just like, damn, like, what the hell happened? Like, where is, I don't know. It's everything that the persona that they put out to be has backfired when you choke on moments like this.
Yes. I agree with you completely. I think they definitely, unfortunately they didn't live up to the moment, but it's not like it was game 7.
Right.
It's okay. I think that, the Kyrie shot, the like cross step back over a bigger defender, hit the back of the iron. It's not like he like airballed that bitch. Like it hit the back of the rim. It looked like it was going down.
Yeah.
That's understandable. And it's like, it's not like that's an uncharacteristic shot for Kyrie. We've seen him hit those shots in the finals. So it's like, no one's going to like rag on him like we do Jason Tatum. But the Kyrie miss was, I'm sorry, the KD miss was unacceptable. Wide open from 15 elbow.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's a tough L.
It's even funnier to me that they both missed a game, the game winner back to back, and Kevin Durant has missed 2 game winners this year already. It makes it funnier to me because of Kyrie's comments over the summer saying that now he can look next to him and see someone that can hit that shot. So ironically enough, they both miss game winning shots right back to back. And then last night, LeBron goes and hits a tough shot over Dylan Brooks to ice the game.
Yeah.
So like it's just really funny how things work against Kyrie. It seems like every time he talks about anything LeBron related, it always comes back and bites him in the ass every single time. And LeBron is watching, he's paying attention. So he's taking all this a little personal, like, oh, okay, y'all both missed. Watch me do this over here. I got y'all.
Damn, man, I didn't even think about that until you said it, but I think you're spot on. He for sure had a spite to these fucking clowns. Was like, okay, I'll show you what's up.
I'll show you what's up. It was a tough shot he hit over Dylan Brooks last night too.
Man, that's the little shit that's the little shit. These kind of like, and that's the thing that we don't get as much of a peek behind the curtain on. And that's why I do like listening to like JJ Redick's pod, because he kind of gets you to peek behind the curtain a little bit more. It's like, these guys are competitive as fuck. Like,
all of them, yeah.
Jimmy, although that is like a shot in the dark, whatever, I think you're absolutely right. I guarantee you LeBron watched that game, was like, oh, I'm going to show these dudes.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to show these dudes.
Because first of all, I think the Wizards at that point against the Nets, I don't think they had won a game. I think that was their first win of the season, I think.
It was.
That was their first win of the season right there. And it was a good game, the whole game. And then when Kyrie and KD both missed a shot, they both look good. Well, at least Kyrie's shot looked good to me off the crossover. It looked good, but KD's shot looked off from the jump. It just looked like he rushed it.
He
forced it.
He didn't fall.
Yeah.
He shorthanded that shit.
Yeah, he just shorthanded the jumper, man. Like, but and now Kevin Durant is gonna miss a week because of COVID, because he came in contact with somebody that got it. So now it's gonna be on Kyrie for the next week or so to carry the team when that team does not play any type of defense at all. That team is really bad defensively, and it's going to be hard for them throughout the rest of the year. I think they dropped under 500 earlier this week, and I think they're back at 500. I think they're 4-4 now. But the Nets are going to have a tough time winning games if they don't play any defense, man. And another thing the Nets got to do is they got to sit down DeAndre Jordan, man. Let Jared Allen start. It's about time to accept, like, yo, we get it. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving signed here because they wanted to bring their friend DeAndre Jordan. We get it. Their friend is there now. That doesn't mean their friend needs to start with them. Start Jared Allen. No, for real, man. Like, start Jared Allen. He's younger. He's more athletic. He's more energetic. He can do more right now than DeAndre Jordan. Yeah, like he's a really good defender.
That was nasty.
It's crazy because when you see people get dunked on a lot, I think Jared Allen is the player that gets dunked on the most in the NBA. And I never laugh at him because Jared Allen does not care. He wants to block everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you put up towards the rim. Jared Allen wants to block it. So you got to respect that. Like, he wants to get it. He wants to play defense. DeAndre Jordan's not really out there playing defense. DeAndre Jordan's just out there just trying to catch a lob. So I think it's about time to just switch the rotations a little bit and start Jared Allen and put some fresh legs and maybe get a couple defensive stops. But the Nets are going to have a tough time this year stopping teams.
No, I'm not really worried about that with the Nets. Let's be honest. They have two of the best scorers in the league's history.
Yeah.
They're going to be fine.
Yeah, possibly. To be honest, the Nets possibly have the two most skilled scorers in the history of the league on their team.
Yeah.
They might be the two most skilled scorers of all time.
Yeah, no, they really are. I mean, like, just pure athletic, just pure scorers. They're just nasty. Another thing about that game that I found kind of comical was and it reminded me when you said, "Oh, I think it was Washington's first win." It was their first win. However, they celebrated so fucking hard. Like it looked like the Mighty Ducks just beat the Russians, and like Gordon Bombay just like did a backflip over the ice. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Russell Westbrook celebrated so hard. I was like, damn, guy, act like you've been there before.
Well, maybe you know what? When I saw that, I just genuinely thought he walked into the team realizing or recognizing that fuck, I'm gonna do this all on my own. And then when they got a win, it was like I didn't know when I was gonna see that day. And it sucks, but it was weird.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I got a lot of enjoyment out of that.
You got to celebrate all the wins, man. You got to celebrate all of them.
Everyone counts.
Someone who's for sure celebrating is Steph Curry after he exploded with a 62-point game, career high.
That's his career high.
That's a career high for him.
I guess
his previous was against the Knicks.
Damn.
Yeah, so this one was against the Blazers, and he just spazzed.
Yeah, that was a nuts game, man.
Yeah.
I got home from work in time to catch the second half of that game, and I realized something about the Blazers. Doesn't matter how bad the Golden State Warriors are, they will always own the Blazers. They literally own them. Like if you go look at the Blazers on their Wikipedia, it says Golden State Warriors birthed them. Like they are their parents. The Blazers can't do anything with the Warriors. I think they're scared of them. I think Dame, CJ, the rest of those guys on that team are terrified of the Warriors. Every time they play against them, whether it's the season or whether it's the playoffs, they can't do anything against them.
I didn't actually catch the interaction between them, but like Twitter was kind of making a big deal out of the conversation between Dame and Steph. Did you guys catch that?
I saw it. I think Dame said something of like, you can't dish it out and not take it. You got to respect it or something like that. So I guess he was talking shit about
Himself?
Steph, the Warriors or whatever. I think he was talking shit about them. And then when Steph put up 62 on them, then he went out there and he at the end of the game, he gave him a hug, gave him a dap. It was like, yo, I respect it. So
got it.
You got to be a stand-up guy, man. He just lit you up for 62 points, man. The least you could do is just give him a dap.
And he did that.
You know what kind of behavior that is? That's MVP behavior, right, Denise?
I mean, I can't disagree.
We both
put him in our picks.
For game?
Yeah.
Bro, like it was really bad that 62, especially when he hit the three to get to 62. That one, like in the far left wing, he just chucked that shit up there and it went in. And you could see both benches. Like the Warriors were celebrating so much that the referees had to go to them and be like, yo, y'all have to sit down. And then the Blazers were just standing on their bench like, yo, what the hell? Like, how the hell did you stop this? Like at that point, it was over for them.
And he was consistent the whole game. Like at the half, he had 31 points. Yeah. Steph Curry. So.
Yeah, he killed them that whole game. He was on a mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good at making basketball go on the orange thing. He's real good at that.
The Blazers, if there's one thing I learned after that game is the Blazers suck. The Blazers, man, it doesn't matter who they add to their team. Yo, dead ass, man. Like it don't matter what the Blazers add to their team. They don't play any defense, and that system of running pick and roll with Dame and CJ and taking turns on scoring, that's not going to get you anywhere. Honestly, I don't know how their coach, Terry Stotts, has been there for this long, man. Like,
Dame?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good point. That's a good point. I feel like if they let go of Terry Stotts, I think Dame might walk too if they let him go.
Oh, that's probably why. There you go.
Yeah, because that team, their system is awful. They don't play any defense at all. They have like one guy that plays good defense, which is Covington. That's about it. Everybody.
Is it though? We talked about this a little bit in like the first episode. Is Covington really that good?
Yeah, he plays good defense.
Does he?
All ball. Yeah, he's a pretty good defender. At least I think so.
Traded 4 times in 3 years.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same argument we could have for Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder is a really good defensive player, and Jay Crowder has been on what 5, 6 teams already.
No, Jay Crowder, he's not a good defensive player. He's the only guy that cannot get completely rolled over on when LeBron decides to drive to the basket. That's all he is. He's just big enough to not fall over when LeBron goes for a layup. The only guy in the Eastern Conference, and that's why he's now like he follows around, right? Like he jumps to different conferences where the fuck LeBron is because he's a big guy that can get in front of him. I don't know. But back to Steph Curry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that, and I was going to take it back to Steph Curry, so we were in the same line. He also became the first player since Kobe, and that's since 2005, to score at least 30 points in each half of a game.
Oh, shit. That's nasty.
Yeah.
That's tiring. Jimmy, what's the most points you put in a game?
Me?
Yeah.
35.
35?
Yeah, 35.
It's probably a real game. I had 48 in a rec league final.
Damn.
Absolutely went unconscious. And the thing is, my point is, it's really hard to fucking like stay locked in.
Yes.
It is.
It just is. Even when you're really fucking feeling it, it's really hard to stay locked in. And the only time you can ever, for me, I've only been able to get past a 35 clip twice ever. And both times I like straight up went numb, right? Like,
no, it's
funny. Out where I was, I would just throw it at the rim and it would go in. I was like, I don't know.
It's funny because that's how it feels. Like,
yeah, it's weird.
You're just heating up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like if you played basketball, like for the listeners out there, like if you play basketball and you get into that zone that like you're just everything is going in, like your body feels like numb. Like the ball, like when it touches your hand, it doesn't even feel like it's there. Yeah. Like you just it's like normal, like it's second nature. Everything is happening.
Like a runner's high. You're just like going.
Yeah, anyway, for real, man.
Speaking on that Steph Curry game, 30 and 30 each half. The reason why I brought that up is like doing 30 in two different halves has to be the most strenuous thing. Obviously, he's a professional. He's probably the best shooter in the world, if not top two, whatever. I mean, he went 8 for 16 from three.
Yeah.
Shot 50% from three. And then shot 18 for 31 from the field. So that's 58 from regular, 50 from three. And then went 18 for 19 from the free throw line. The guy had 19 free throws and made 18 of them. That's his only free throw miss of the season so far. Real? No.
That's his only free throw miss of the season so far.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild.
Man, it was different. It was, and it's funny because when you watch Stephen Curry and he's hot and he's having one of those games, you're watching it and you're like, yo, what the fuck? Like, can somebody get him? Like,
no one's doing it like Steph.
Yeah.
Can you go get him, man? Like, it's unbelievable. Like, he'll be 40 feet out on a screen and roll and shoot it over two people and swish it.
Well, how about before the ball's half into the air, he's already turned back looking at the opposing bench, just like, fuck yeah, running away. Like, peak Golden State Warriors easily is the most annoying team on the face of the earth.
That was the most annoying run of all time.
True.
Because
annoying team.
You have Draymond yelling at you, Steph dancing, and Clay just looking like a zombie out there. Clay was just like, okay, I guess I'll just play basketball today.
Just so unconscious. 32 points in like a fourth quarter blow up.
Yeah.
That team was
so annoying. But after a couple seasons of watching them and them winning, I was like, you know what, man, like just looking back at this in a couple of years, we're going to appreciate that because it was a very fun run for them. Like, if you enjoy basketball, like, yes, they were very annoying, but when you look back at it, it was like, damn, man, like that team was really dominant. Like those guys were beating you with threes.
Which is something that everyone said would never happen.
Would never work.
Everyone, like up until the Warriors broke that stigma, the league, the known thing with leagues, like you can't win a finals with just jumpers. You can't.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing. Like you have to have a big man that can put up a layup in a tough situation, or someone that can slash in a tough situation. And like they absolutely they completely demolished that stigma. And that's what evolved into giving D'Antoni what he created in Houston, and like this, anyway, that's another conversation. I think the point you made about us looking back and like appreciating them, it's definitely going to be one of the best 3 teams I feel like we ever get to thoroughly witness in our lifetime.
Yes.
Like, that's one of the best teams ever. And that's not just like an opinion, that's statistical facts. Like, their record is ridiculous. That book that Denise, you caught today, that writer, Bill Simmons, does a really good job of like kind of building up these stories, explaining to you and like going through these historical moments, these like not century, but like these like pivotal moments within a 10 to 20 years, like a decade moments, and really getting you to appreciate it for what it really was, and going into like the background of it, like the details, the drama of the teams, and the overall mood of the full NBA in that point of time. He does a really good job of explaining that. It really helps give you a different appreciation for those types of teams, these generational teams like the Bulls, the Pistons, the Spurs, and you know, the Heat, fucking Warriors now, and hopefully the Lakers now. So yeah. Kyrie.
So after Steph scored 62, where do you guys rank him in the best point guards currently in the NBA after that performance? What do you have? Because he started off really slow.
Is Steph labeled a point guard?
I mean, if we're gonna box him into positions, then I guess we could put him as a point guard.
That sucks for all the other point guards.
So I guess you have him at 1.
I don't know about 1, but I don't know if I don't. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's definitely, you know, him and Pete Maravich, Oscar Robertson, some of the best scoring players in the entire history of basketball, no matter where you are in the world. Like, just the best.
Well, now, I'm talking
Allen Iverson, probably Allen. I don't know, man. That's tough.
Well, I'm more so talking about currently right now in the NBA. Out of all the point guards right now currently, where would you rank him right now currently with the point guards that are active?
Is Harden a point guard?
Not right now. They got John Wall. They got John Wall now.
All right, so it's between who? Let's say who's in your top 3. That way I can get a better picture. Because I think right now Steph is 1 for me, but I want to make sure I'm.
Because Chris Paul's in the league. You got Kyrie.
But right now today, we're not talking about Chris Paul's prime. You can't say Chris Paul is. To me, It's Dame. It's Dame. It's Kyrie, and it's Steph. Not in any particular order, but it's those 3. I would say today, right now.
Trey's a point guard too. He's been doing good too.
Oh, Trey Young. He's averaging like 30 something this year.
He's not there yet. I'm telling you. Go look at his turnovers. Go look at his turnovers. The guy really puts them in compromising positions throughout all parts of the game. Not just in the 4th, not just in the 2nd. Like, literally every fucking quarter he's doing something stupid. And it's just because he's young, right? Like, that's all it is.
Yeah.
This time next year, like, if he keeps this trajectory, could easily be an MVP candidate. Kind of already is. So, like, I'm not trying to steal anything away from Trey, but he's just not quite there yet.
Jamal Murray is kind of there.
He was in the bubble, but he's not right now. He's kind of come out slow.
Yeah, so if we're ranking Steph, Dame, Kyrie,
that's just my 3 point guard.
Yeah, those are his. That's for John. For me, 3. I guess I'll go with that same 3, no order. Right now, currently in the NBA active, I'll go Dame, Kyrie, Steph. I'll go with that right now. And I love Russell Westbrook, but I feel like Russell Westbrook has now with Beal, because fucking Beal put up 60 today. So that's
oh my God.
Yeah, that's insanity. He put up 60 today, and I think Westbrook got hurt at the end of the game. I think he might have dislocated a finger or something towards the end of the game, but he almost had a triple-double. But let's see. I think it's Dame, Kyrie, Steph. No order either, just those 3 guys at the top of the point guard list.
I think if I was to rank them today, I think
you had it right.
I would go Dame, Steph, Kyrie. I would go, Dame, Steph, Kyrie would be it for me.
Okay.
I would go Steph, Dame, Kyrie.
Okay.
And I'm only putting that on like putting your team in a good position to win today.
Okay.
I'm not saying like who would I rather go see play in person order, because that's a different conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole different one.
Like it'd be Kyrie number 1 all day, not even close.
Well,
Denise,
say it again.
who would be your top 3 point guards?
I would agree with you guys. I would say that they would be my top 3 because they're kind of in their own level, regardless of the point guards that are out in the NBA right now.
I know we're gonna get flamed for forgetting someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, look,
Unless Luka's a point guard, because if Luka's a point guard,
Luka
I'm
could be a
putting him
point
one.
guard.
Luka is a point guard.
I think he is a point
He's a
guard
sh-
technically, because
he's a
it's
sh-
Luka, it's Luka,
Wait, you're right.
Josh
You're right.
Richardson, Tim Hardaway, Dorian Finney-Smith, and KP when he comes back. So I'm putting Luka 1. Fuck it.
I still do Steph 1, Luka 2, Dame 3, and Kyrie 4.
I still think here's the thing, and James, you know a little bit more about this probably than Denise does, because you and I are in a few like basketball leagues together and shit like that. I am super high on Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
I watch him. He to me is like the marquee stream. Like I will always try to watch his game. And the one thing I will say about him, and JJ Barea tapped in on it actually on a podcast. I think it was JJ Redick's podcast. Anyways, JJ Barea tapped in on this a little bit, and it kind of like put everything into like clarity to me. It's like, this is still only his 2nd year. And I think, is he 19?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Luka, yeah,
he's a child.
I don't even think Luka could go out and drink yet.
No, Luka's 21. Luka's 21.
21,
Okay, so he's not a child, but he's still fucking young. And the thing that JJ Barea said, and this actually made a lot of sense to me, specifically the way he's playing so far just this year. And that's what the conversation is, right? It's ranking the top 3 this year, today, right now. And to me, Luka would be after those 3. He would be 4. Just because
because of how he's playing.
He's not really, he's not playing super well. He had his first triple-double yesterday, but he is kind of not interested.
He's out of shape.
He's out of
shape. Mark Cuban came out, I think 2 days ago, and said like he in training camp he was out of shape. Like he didn't have time to get his body right. So he's getting his body right as the season progresses.
Yeah, and so my point I was trying to get to with JJ Barea is that like he's still a kid. He is still playing basketball, and he said this is not an insult. It literally is a compliment, because this is how good this kid is. He hasn't figured out like how to work yet.
Yeah, no.
This is literally still Luka Doncic, just pure raw ability. It's not
just fucking shooting and putting the ball in the hole.
Out there playing playground basketball and is just fucking up the NBA. And to me, that's why I was like, okay, I think that I love Luka. I think he's probably my favorite player to watch right now. But in terms of where these guys are right now, in terms of where they're putting their team to win, yeah, he's putting their team to win every single night. But I think that give him a few more months, and I would put him back in a little higher. But as of right now, he's not quite there. I think he's 4.
Yeah.
He's out of shape. He hasn't really started working. He's not really. He's pacing himself. Let's put it that way. He's pacing himself.
He's pacing himself for the 72 game season.
Yeah. Speaking of people who tend to pace themselves at the wrong time, Paul George. James, I'm going to let you take this one, because obviously, you might feel a different way than I do about this. And I've been pretty outspoken about how I feel about this guy more than once. So Paul George not being respected.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing, because he is one of the better players in the NBA, but he is the most disrespected player, and it's by everyone. People don't respect Paul George around the league, and they say it to his face. Like, it doesn't matter what situation it is, whether it's against the Nuggets, the other day against the Suns, him and Devin Booker got into it. Like,
both look heated. They both look heated.
Yeah, he was mad at him. And Devin Booker had the right to be mad at him, because it was like, what are you so upset about? Cameron Payne fouled you. Like, it's a normal basketball foul. That's it. Like, shut up. Go to the free throw line.
Yeah,
like, shut up and go to the free throw line, man. Like, I've never seen a player that like Paul George. Like, he is so skilled and talented on both sides of the ball, and he could do so much for teams. But then when it comes to him as a person on the basketball court, his colleagues don't fuck with him at all. Like you could tell when guys look at him, they laugh. Like, oh, look, it's this guy, fucking pandemic P. Like,
I don't know about his teammates. I would have to find it hard to believe that his teammates are clowning him.
Well, maybe his teammates are clowning him because remember last year not last year, a couple months ago when the other season ended, they were saying that they didn't like the way that the coaches gave him the preferential treatment, like how he can do whatever he wants, and Paul George can have a bad game, and coaches would not care, and blah blah blah, all that shit. But Paul George just isn't really respected, and I don't know what he could do in order to be respected, because I don't think even winning a championship with the Clippers would earn that respect. I think it's deeper than that now.
Nah, I think the number one thing I've always learned from sports is if you win, people forget and forgive. As vague and broad of a stroke that comment is, for the most part, it rings pretty true.
It's crazy though, man. I've never seen that.
D, what do you think?
Well, I think that yes, to your point, Jimmy, he there were rumors about him being disrespected in the locker room. And I think there's a really good article by Jovan Buhan, who was in the Clippers but just moved to the Lakers to be like the athletic writer. And he's a good buddy of mine. He's like a really, really good writer when it comes to just like giving you inside locker room stories. And one thing that he said is just a lot changed when he went through something in his life, in his personal life, in his romantic life. PG.
Oh, you mean when he got a stripper pregnant and tried to pay her to have an abortion? You mean that?
How about when he cheated? How about when he fucking cheated on his fiance with Roy Hibbert's fiance?
He has a really good.
When he dumped Doc Rivers' daughter for a stripper. How about that?
Maybe it's just the fact that he's a piece of shit human being and people don't fuck with that. Maybe that's what. Maybe we're trying to make too much of this.
I say that all to say there's a really good piece on The Athletic by Jovan explaining in detail the distractions that PG could be going through. You guys listed some of them, and it it's just one of those things where it's like, damn, like he's a skilled player, and
in more than one way.
In more than one way, he's a skilled player, and all he has to do is just close the doors, close the windows, stop being so public with everything. Like, you're such a messy dude. But like, his shoes are tight, his game is tight. Like, he has a red carpet rolled out for him, and he's
one of the only people that has a Nike shoe. Like,
and it's lit. He has
there's like maybe 10 people that have a Nike shoe all time, or 15 people at most.
Mm-hmm. Who's he fucking at Nike?
Huh?
Right? Whose fiance is he fucking at Nike to get that deal still?
Shit, he might be.
That's still ain't right.
I know that's a little much. I'm sorry.
But the guy, he doesn't know. He also doesn't know how to take accountability, and I think people don't like that. Over the past few months, whenever anything negative came about him, of just the way he played or how he handled a certain situation, he never put blame on himself. He always put blame on somebody else. And I think just viewers and fans of basketball, when they see that, and everybody sees that you fucking up, just own it. Just be like, yo, I fucked up. That's me. For example, the other night, 2 weeks ago, when they were playing Dallas and they lost by like 70 points, he came out and he said, well, we played bad because last night everybody went out for Christmas. Yesterday was our Christmas, so we stayed out late and everybody was drinking and having fun and all that. And it was like, yo, just own it, man. Like, y'all played bad. That's it. You don't have to give an excuse for everything. He made an excuse saying that it was their Christmas the previous night.
Why are you airing that shit out anyways?
You see what I'm saying? Like,
you're professional.
Yeah, man. Like, just shut up and just shut up. Don't talk anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's messy. Like, this guy's literally so mad. I don't know who his PR team is. Maybe he doesn't have one. Maybe that's the problem.
That must be.
Maybe that's the problem. I swear to God, when you have that many cases, scenarios, whatever you want to call it, in your life outside of the game, you need a good publicist. Like, fuck a nutritionist, a trainer. Like, invest in a publicist, because they can cover stuff up that you don't even want to get out.
Yeah.
Facts. Bury that shit.
Hey, you never know. He might like it. And talking about people that's always in some kind of fucking drama with somebody else, Shaquille O'Neal, man. He is arguably, possibly the best center all time, maybe, depending on who you ask. Shaq always finds, every season or every other season, I feel like Shaq finds someone to pick on. He always finds someone that he wants to make fun of and just like pick jokes at him. This year happens to be Rudy Gobert. So go ahead, John.
I feel like it might have to do with the Corona thing.
I was just gonna say that. I feel
like it might have to do a little bit with that, and that's obviously not. I mean, it's obviously kind of dramatized at this point. We all kind of realize that it was inevitable, but
was it?
Why you gotta be a dick about it, Rudy? Like, why you gotta be touching all the microphones and shit?
Was it inevitable? Like,
yeah, I feel like at one point something was gonna happen in the NBA and they were gonna have to shut it down at some point. But Rudy, all he did was just expedite that. That's all Rudy Gobert did. A expedited the process. He went and touched every single microphone and possibly coughed and sneezed on people on the way out. We don't know. He was just wild. He a wild boy, man. But Shaq said, I think Shaq tweeted, like, this is a message to all the kids out there that you can average 11 points and you can make $200 million in the NBA. It's like, yo, come on. You're like, leave the guy alone, man. It's just like when.
Wait, he goes on too. He's like,
he kept going.
I would have had 45 points, 16 rebounds, 10 missed free throws in 3 quarters.
Yeah. The 10 missed free throws was the best.
Yeah. Shaq is clearly just like super, super bent over the fact that people are getting super paid. Like, when he didn't get those big contracts.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Obviously, he's a little bitter.
And he always makes little comments like that about when guys, especially when centers make a lot of money in the NBA, he always finds ways to like poke at it and in a sense, like, hate on it. And I know, like, a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, how Shaq is a hater, like Shaq is the best and Shaq has money and all that. And it's like, not in the sense that he hates him or that he's hating on him. It's just a sense that Shaq wanted $200 million in one contract. Shaq, through his NBA career, only made like $270 million combined in his NBA career. Rudy Gobert is probably at that right now. With like 2 contracts, and that's it. Maybe his rookie deal, his second deal, and maybe this deal right now. I think Rudy Gobert's already surpassed that.
Yeah. So
like, it's like, yo, Shaq, like, you don't have to make a fuss out of this. Like, it's cool if you think you're better than him. You could say that, but you don't got to talk about the guy's money and talk about like, hey, man, you could average 10 points and make $200 million. That's not the case. That's not gonna happen for everybody.
Yeah, clearly he's a little bitter. I wish I could give him the benefit of the doubt, and he's just trying to like troll Utah for like signing Rudy to that much, but Rudy's a pretty good defensive player.
I just realized he kept it going like days later.
Jesus.
I told y'all, man, like, he's petty. He's a petty guy.
He trolled him for getting blocked by Jared Allen.
God. Just
like, he's just having a field day, yo. I mean, if there's anyone that we'd expect it from, it'd be Shaq. Yeah. I think if and it seems like Rudy's been smart about how he's handled this. Like, Shaq's notorious for belittling centers.
Yeah.
JaVale McGee.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard.
JaVale got it worse. JaVale was on suicide watch for a minute. That shit wasn't good.
Dwight Howard, Al Horford.
Always. And the Al Horford thing was money. that Al Horford thing was money again. He said
Yo,
he kind of said the same thing about Al Horford.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if Rudy's smart, I mean, clearly he is. He's not feeding onto it yet. Um, he should know, like, all right, well, this guy has a pattern. He picks on centers. No big deal. Let me just take my money and keep it pushing.
Yeah.
And
And
I think that's
actually
exactly what he said too. He was like, "I'm gonna just take my money and I'm gonna just walk away."
yeah.
And for the listeners out there that will probably listen to this and say like, "Oh, Rudy Gobert is trash anyways," or whatever it is, like if you say that, I'm assuming that you don't really watch basketball, because if you watch the Utah Jazz without Rudy Gobert on the floor, they're trash.
Yeah.
So if you think Rudy Gobert is trash, go watch a Utah basketball game and watch when Rudy Gobert is sitting out. Watch how they play defense, and it'll show you why he got $200 million.
You want to know what's so great
Sometimes
about
you don't have to average 50 points a game to get that much money.
the reason why Rudy Gobert, there's two big reasons, right? Number one is he allows them to play Joe Ingles. Joe Ingles is so
Yes.
important because Joe Ingles completely spaces the floor for Donovan, right? Rudy also, it's like, you got to stop fucking LeBron at the rim. There aren't many dudes in the league that can stop LeBron at the rim, and there's only like maybe one guy that can stop LeBron on ball, and really can't. When LeBron wants to actually take over, he takes over. So really, the only option you have is Rudy or maybe Jarrett Allen. But Jarrett Allen's gotten absolutely posterized a couple times by LeBron. But anyway, Rudy's getting paid because he makes that team run. Like, he's just one of those. He's literally, they built the team around him in a sense. He's been there. He's one of the guys that's been there the longest. Like, that team is doing what it does because Rudy is playing his role perfectly and can
Absolutely
stop LeBron at the rim.
I agree, man.
Speaking of other stops, the Raptors can't get a stop to save their life. The Raptors struggling to start the year. James, what is your take on the Raptors? You think that they're going to be able to recover? You think they're going to make the playoffs? What's their trajectory at this point? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to see what their record is at the moment, but I don't think they've won in 6.
I think they're like 1-5, 1-6, something like that. I've managed to watch them a couple times, man. The Raptors, and it sucks because Nick Nurse is a good coach, but I feel like that team now they put too much stock in Pascal Siakam, and I don't think Pascal Siakam is that guy. Like, I honestly don't think that Pascal Siakam is the guy that is going to be able to carry them on either side of the ball or be able to be a difference maker for them. They have to find somebody else. So I think the Raptors have to make some kind of trade in order to make that team work. It could be James Harden, who knows, but they have to make some kind of trade to get somebody there, because that team it's like they have no heart anymore. It feels like, yo, we've been great since like 2012. Like, great in the sense of we've made the playoffs all these years. We got one championship out of it. We got multiple All-Stars, blah, 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 all that shit. Like, now at this point, it's like, we did everything we have to do. Okay, cool. Like, what are we doing now?
Yeah.
Fred VanVleet the other day was saying, like, he's never been a part of something like this, so they got to change it. Like, he's never been a part of a losing team. When he was at Wichita State was in the NCAA tournament every single year when he was there.
Denise, I think there's a constant. To me, it's like, what's the motivation for this team?
I think that's what the problem is.
Last year, the motivation was, we need to prove that we weren't just a Kawhi team.
Yes.
The year before, obviously, was we got to win a ring. We've never won a ring. We have Kawhi. It's our moment, right? But what's their motivations here? I feel like after not making it to the finals last year, kind of deflated the shit out of them.
Honestly, if I were them, my motivation would just be like, look, guys, we can definitely attack the rim. Watch. That's literally the only shit that they can't do. They actually are a good team. Like, they have good chemistry. It's not like they have their moments where they're sync. I think their offense is just,
their offense is atrocious this year. I don't know what the hell they're doing out there.
Their defense is great, but
like Kyle Lowry isn't like Kyle Lowry really hasn't had signature Kyle Lowry moment like he always has.
He seems not interested.
Yeah, he seems not interested. Fred VanVleet got paid this summer, and
Fred's
I'm not mad at it. Get your money, man. Like undrafted guy from the G League, he did his thing. He helped them win a championship and contributed heavily to them winning. But now it's like you guys paid him. Now you have 2 point guards that do the same exact thing. You have Pascal Siakam, who can't shoot a three to save his
Mhm.
life. He can't really shoot a mid-range jumper. He doesn't have a handle. He doesn't really defend. And you paid him like $160 million for one good. He had one good playoff run, and they paid him. And that one good playoff run, he had it behind Kawhi. He was second fiddle to Kawhi behind that, and they paid him from it. You lost Marc Gasol. You lost Serge Ibaka. Like you don't have much left on that team. Like you have Aaron Baines as your starting center and Alex Len as the backup. Those are two
Yeah.
guys that are bench warmers in the NBA, and you're depending on them to be workers on defense.
Aaron Baines
Yeah.
is an advanced analytics like darling. So
He's a good shooter for a big.
he's definitely not an eye test guy, that's for damn sure, but he's efficient. Like he doesn't fuck up is what it is. He's gonna go not fuck
He's
up.
he's a smart guy. Yeah, he's a smart guy and doesn't make mistakes. But
Yeah. He's not gonna win the game for you, but he's definitely not gonna lose it for you.
he's not a
Yeah.
starter. Let's just get that out the way. He should not be starting for that team.
Just to throw some numbers out, they're shooting 61% in the restricted area, and they're the 9th lowest in the NBA.
Oof. Rough.
Ninth lowest. 61% in the restricted area. Shit. But hey, man, they got to figure something out there, man. And I think their next motivating factor will probably be a trade. They need some kind of change there in order to add a spark. It might mean trading Kyle Lowry, which is the guy that everybody loves there, which will suck for Toronto because they're not even playing at home. They're playing in Tampa.
Yeah.
So it'll suck for the fans of the Raptors to like not be able to see Kyle Lowry maybe again because he's probably going to get traded this year. I think it's the final year of his deal as well. So they're going to have to figure something out over there, man. That team does not look good. They look uninterested. They can't beat anybody. They're not even competing.
Yeah. I mean, I think we also need to keep in mind this is a strange year still. Shortened off season, we still have like 65 games left. So
Yeah.
there is still a lot of basketball to be played. They can still right the ship. I agree there needs to be some kind of change. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but I watched a lot of Adam Sandler movies as a kid, and Bobby Boucher was one of my favorite characters. And
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have seen this dude, Chris Boucher. He's nasty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's what everybody wants Bobo to be.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
He's very interesting to watch. He is a very, very just productive guy. The weird thing is like I think he had like 32 one night, and then the next game he played 4 minutes. It's like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that didn't
Play the
make
guy.
any sense.
It's just very strange, their rotations. They clearly don't know what their rotations are. They're figuring that out. And I think that either they make a trade or they have to figure out what their rotations are going to be, and they're going to be okay. They're well coached. They have good players. Maybe they wake up and get out of their kind of funk and just turn it around.
I think the Raptors are the one franchise that with their coaching, they're the one franchise in the NBA that I could say that they could grab a random guy off the bench, throw him into a situation in a game, and he'll produce.
Yeah.
I don't think any other coach gets that out of their players like Nick Nurse does. Like Norman Powell last year averaged damn like 20 points for like 20 games at some point. Like he just put him in there when somebody was injured, and Norman Powell went in there and produced. Same thing for Chris Boucher. You put him in there, he produces. It happened with Pascal Siakam. It happened with Fred VanVleet. Those guys weren't really playing much. They threw him in there for a couple minutes, replacing some guys. Those guys got paid.
Yeah.
The Raptors are very good at finding talent on their bench. Like, hey, man, like we need something today. Go in there, get it done for us. They're very good at that, and I don't think they'll be able to find that this year for some reason. I don't know what it is, man, but they have to make a trade and get rid of somebody and add a couple pieces.
I wish I had your level of optimism. Because I get that there's 66 more games. I'm just having struggle like finding that optimism in them shaping up and potentially even making it to the playoffs. Like their offense is like insanely bad. Like I don't know what it is, but I feel like I think everyone hit it with the lack of motivation across the team. It could be lack of leadership. It's a number of things, and I think because it's difficult to pinpoint even what that is. At least for me, it shakes up whatever optimism
Yeah, for real.
the Raptors have.
I mean, to kind of like, I don't know, put all your kind of comments together. Masai Ujiri is the president of the Raptors. He's the reason why they have, all of this untapped talent that people just come in and just kind of produce. He's the person that structured the team to get Kawhi. Like, he's probably the most sought after and well-respected president in the league in terms of creating something out of nothing. So
yeah,
I guess my optimism comes from the fact that it's a well-ran organization where it's like you have other organizations.
That's fair.
Possibly in New York City that just aren't, and they're stuck, right? You have all the resources in the world there, but you have just a shitty team president and owner who just doesn't care. And that's, so for me, I guess my optimism and look at the Knicks, like they're winning this year. I guarantee you Dolan's going to trade something that matters.
Oh yeah.
Probably
Julius Randle.
Or Julius Randle. He's going to fuck this up somehow just to spite the Knicks fans, like for sure. And then what's going to end up happening is the Raptors are going to fall into the 8th seed and go into like the fucking 3rd round.
Yeah.
Because that's the difference. Is like you have these organizations that, and all this trickles down from the top. And it's like you have these team presidents and these GMs that are really good at what they do, and you have the ones that just aren't. And I don't see, no offense, I don't see the Knicks maintaining, their current position as like the 6th seed or 7th seed currently in the East.
Oh, James Dolan don't even got to trade somebody. They'll fuck up at some point. It's only a matter of time. I'm used to it.
Tough. You know what I'm not used to is players that I can't stand doing remarkable things. That player being Peyton Pritchard. I don't know if you guys saw this tonight. The Celtics.
It's your worst nightmare, John. It's fucking Peyton Pritchard out there.
I mean,
playing well too.
Yeah, Miami, the Heat, and the Celtics. The game was the fourth quarter. I don't know if you guys watched. I signed on like the last like 4 minutes of the game, and it was back and forth, back and forth. Dragic hit a huge 3, and then they come back down. Tatum gets double teamed right as he crosses half courts. Give it over to Marcus Smart. Smart goes up, tries to put up a really tough shot on 2 people, obviously fucking misses it. And Pritchard comes out of nowhere, literally just like gets the offensive rebound, tips it in, ball game. And this is the game after he put up 24 points the night before. Peyton Pritchard's playing really, really good basketball, and I hate to admit that because he sucks. He seems like, and what's funny is obviously I've been described as this way personally by myself, is like I'm the person that you really hate to play against, but you love to have as a teammate. And Peyton Pritchard is one of those guys. And I normally like those guys. Like I love.
Are you comparing yourself to Peyton Pritchard?
I'm not wanting to. I'm hopefully comparing myself to like Chris Paul, who is like that. He's the king of that, right? It's like very, a pest in a sense. And Peyton Pritchard is possibly doing good things for the Celtics, which is, he has to be the steal of the draft right now, right?
Yeah. So far, he's a revelation so far for the NBA in general. I don't think anyone anticipated Peyton Pritchard to play this well. I don't know. It might change when Kemba comes back, because then you'll have Kemba and Jeff Teague. So I don't know how much money, how much time Peyton Pritchard's actually going to get when both of those point guards come back. But he's showing right now, man, that he's worthy of a spot in the NBA. So good for him, man.
Yeah, 26th pick overall.
He's showing that, but he's also showing just how smart the Celtics were. and really believing in the future that he has. Like, no one expects a lot from rookies, at least in this way, because he's had some pretty inconsistent games, good and bad. Because there was one game where he didn't have any stats.
He was just out there living.
I think it might have been against the Pistons.
It was his vibes out there for him.
But then there was another game where he spazzed and he had like 23 points.
Yeah.
So I think it's just another compliment to the Celtics in knowing the value of a player before anyone else does.
I mean, it's interesting, right? Like, if they hit on Pritchard, which it looks like they obviously have, that's a pretty good track record. You have Tatum in 2017. You have Brown in 2016. Brown was the third. Tatum was a third pick. So you kind of know what you're getting there. Last year was interesting where they took like 1, 2, 3, 4 players, 3 in the first round. Langford was a bust. Matisse Thybulle, they traded obviously, but he actually has produced. Grant Williams played really a lot of minutes for them. He still plays a lot of minutes for them.
Yeah, he plays a lot for them.
But they had him guarding like when they played the Lakers, they had him guarding LeBron, which was bizarre. But they also have Grant Williams guarding point guards. He guards 1 through 5. It's really strange. So Williams hit because he was his 22nd pick overall. The interesting thing is that Aaron Nesmith, the kid from Vanderbilt, who is amazing, can absolutely fill it up, hasn't really cracked any time. I don't know if he's hurt, but he hasn't played at all. And
he plays every once in a while. Like he'll grab some scraps. They'll throw him in there for like 2-3 minutes at a time. He doesn't play much though.
Yeah. So I think the crazy thing is you're absolutely right, Denise. Like they definitely hit. I think they had like a nice spread of opportunity, but all teams get spread of opportunity and no one hits this. You have 4 if you want to count Williams, players that are playing really solid minutes, and that's 4 years of picks. It's pretty interesting, pretty impressive. I think, Jimmy, going to your point about when Kemba comes back, Teague, they're not going to play Teague. Why would they play? I mean, why would you play Teague when you have a young asset that you can keep developing? You have Kemba back. Teague's going to ride the pine or just get traded or just ride the pine. Because I think he's on a 1 year.
I think he's on a 1 year too, but I think they signed Teague for like
playoffs.
Like playoffs, like veteran leadership, because he's been in a lot of playoff games.
He can play. He can defend the ball really well. Where Teague's from?
What happened?
You know where Jeff Teague's from?
He's from Indiana, isn't he?
Sure is.
Yeah, he's from Indy, man.
The land of point guards, my friend. Pike High School. He was the man at Pike High School. A lot of good players come out of Pike. Speaking of not NBA, we can go through a few. And speaking of Nesmith and Vandy, Kentucky Vanderbilt game. I'll touch on it real brief since we talked about these two teams ironically last week. Yeah. Kentucky off the schneid, they get a win, a close win at Kentucky, which they should have probably won by more. But Scottie Pippen Jr. had an amazing game, almost had a triple double. He went 38 and 8. Absolutely, okay. Yeah. Scored their last 6 points. They barely missed a 3 to tie it. Like they had 2 looks at a 3 and it rolled out. But Kentucky finally off the schneid. They ended up starting Mintz. They adjusted their lineup, started Mintz. Mintz hit a huge 3 to win the game. So I would like to say I took credit for that win for Kentucky. J-Mac, me, Coach Cal.
And surprisingly,
I'll send you my.
And surprisingly enough, Kentucky was trash in the non-conference games, and now in the conference they're 2-0 in the conference.
Yeah.
So now they're 3-6 for the season, and they're winning when it actually counts.
So like last 2.
So Kentucky could do some of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life, which would be they suck in the non-conference games, and then in the conference games they could potentially be good enough to maybe even, who knows, maybe win their conference. It's a long shot, but maybe they could win their conference and get into the tournament in a very weird way with a losing record probably. So it's gonna be interesting to see down the stretch on how they play in the SEC.
At this point, they're going to have to win the SEC tournament if there is an SEC tournament.
It's the only way. They're gonna have to win their conference tournament at this point.
Yeah, they've lost too many games in the beginning, but I mean, they have the talent. Shit, they definitely have the talent.
They have the talent, and your guy that you spoke so highly of last week, Brandon Boston, he's shooting 15% from three. I saw that earlier today. 15%.
Oh, well, he looks like Brandon Ingram's anorexic brother, so that should tell you something.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Going in, like staying on college basketball, Oklahoma State, I don't know if you guys saw, but Cade Cunningham is the hot ticket in college basketball. If you haven't seen him play yet, there's a few guys that have really started to like separate themselves from the rest of college athletes. Cade Cunningham is definitely the number one pick, not a question. However,
well, there's people saying Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga. So
Suggs is balling. You see that full court pass he had?
Yes.
Yep. Good Lord, that's my luck right there. Anyways, but yeah, that pass, they had the camera angle was crazy.
Yes, that was an amazing.
They did capture it really well.
Like the ref had a body cam on or some shit. It was
it was crazy.
You got this view of the lane. It's like you see the spin on the ball, it hits the ground, and it kicks to the right. It's like, damn. And then he absolutely smoked it.
It was like a movie.
It was cinematic.
It was like a Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, he's balling. But for me, Cade Cunningham is the guy. They played Texas Tech, and that's an interesting game. I don't know if you guys watched it, but it's a game I've actually watched a lot of Oklahoma State, and I've also tried to watch a lot of Texas Tech. And they have Max McClung, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Max McClung, but he was
I've never been a big fan of his.
Really? You don't like?
I've never been a big fan of Mac McClung.
You don't like the inconspicuous white kid
that just got crazy bounce for no reason.
Crazy bounce, 360 dunks in traffic, East Coast funk in traffic. Like dumb. Absolutely. It's like God was like bored one day. He was like, you know what I want to do? I'm gonna put this dude with some basketball skills and some crazy bounce.
For real, he looks like a mistake out there. Like if you watch Mac McClung, because he's like 6'1", he'll go up there and he'll put the ball under his leg in 360. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, how you do that?
Dude, his high school mixtapes are stupid. If
ridiculous, yeah.
High school mixtapes, carve out some time, do that tonight. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, for the listeners, go do that. Go watch some Mac McClung.
Obviously, like we have your GOAT mixtapes to see. John Wall, obviously. Seventh Woods was where I was going to get to with Max. Max reminds me a lot of Seventh Woods high school mixtapes. With Seven Woods, like one of the biggest busts in high school to college basketball history. That's tragic. But staying on this game, Cade Cunningham and Max McClung, Texas Tech's ranked. They were ranked 13th. Oklahoma's unranked, but they're 7-2. I think they're only unranked because they don't qualify for the tournament.
Yeah, that's the reason. They did a self-imposed ban on themselves for the coach that isn't there anymore, for like the college recruitment stuff that he did. So they pretty much banned themselves from the tournament. So, and they're gonna have a great year. They're 7-2, like you said. They're only gonna get better.
Outside of Gonzaga and Baylor, they're the best team in basketball, in college basketball.
They're really good.
They're nasty. Their defense is crazy. All 5 positions can score from range. They all 5 positions can guard 5 positions. It's a very interesting roster. They're really, really tough. And it was interesting to see Texas Tech, who's another very defensive-minded team that kind of plays like an old IU basketball type of style where you force teams into baseline shots that are tough, and you have like one guy doing the a la Steve Alford, just I'm going to make every shot I get, and is running off of like 5 screens. Max McClung is very entertaining to watch, even in college basketball. So that game was super entertaining. Oklahoma State, though, outstood, like, it went into overtime. Oklahoma State, when they got to overtime, basically just bully balled them. It was like every rebound they got and tons of loose balls because they're all like 6'7" from 1 to 5. They're 6'7". It's just weird. The roster construction is like Mike D'Antoni's wet dream. And it really is. It's like an anomaly roster, but they just ball out because they can just switch everything and they all can hit from anything, from anywhere. But the game itself was super entertaining. Cade Cunningham showed up big in overtime and sealed the deal. And it's just
he is super good, man. Cade Cunningham, he looks it like I gave him the nickname the natural because like it looks like everything is just natural to him. Like he makes everything look so easy on the court. And I know it's only college, but it looks like he should be in the NBA already. Like the college game looks too easy for him.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary because guys that are usually like that, like Andrew Wiggins was one of those guys. Like in college, the game looked really easy to him. Like everything he did looked effortless. He got to the league, he's killing, but he still gets criticized for some reason for not doing more. Another guy that's like that, he's currently in the league right now, is Anthony Edwards. Like in Georgia, when he was in college, he looked like everything was like, all right, this kid clearly doesn't belong in college. He needs to be in the NBA already. And he's in the NBA. And just the other day, I was watching a game of his, and he makes the game look so easy. And that's the same thing with Cade Cunningham. It's like effortless passes, just great court vision, being able to finish in traffic, being able to create his own jump shot at the end of the shot clock, at the end of the clock in general, over big defenders, knowing when to post up smaller guys. So he's really good at basketball, man. It's gonna be super interesting to see what happens with that Oklahoma State team because they might win their conference and not make the tournament. So they're doing everything for no reason.
These college athletes need to get paid. This is bullshit. Like this is another prime example of how just like the university is just exploiting these players. Like the coach was the one that did all the infractions. Obviously, these players may have or may not have accepted certain things, but we all, for the most part, a lot of the circumstances where a lot of these athletes are coming from aren't normal circumstances. They're really tough environments without a ton of opportunity, right? And it's like these coaches are making fucking $5 million a year.
Yeah,
they're doing all the illegal shit. They're literally taking advantage of these high school kids.
It's not even just the coaches though; it's the athletic directors. Yeah.
So it's shitty that these kids aren't gonna be able to play in the tournament.
Cesspool.
Yeah, because of these coaches, and it's just like the cesspool that is the NCAA. But that's another story for another day. Another guy that's incredible though, out of the SEC is Cam Thomas.
Yeah, man. I wanted to get into. I'm talking about Cam Thomas. I want to do like a player profile of him really fast before we get into our final segment. So for the listeners, Cam Thomas, he goes to LSU. He went to Oak Hill Academy last year, and he was actually born in Japan, so he's actually Japanese, I guess you can say. So I guess Cam Thomas is Japanese. So he went to Oak Hill Academy. And he actually played with Cole Anthony, who's on the Orlando Magic right now, and he played with Kofi Coburn, who's right now on Illinois. I believe that's where he is right now. And his senior year, Cam Thomas, he averaged 31 points a game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and he left as Oak Hill Academy's all-time leading scorer.
Oh shit!
He played 2 years at Oak Hill Academy, like.
Their all-time leading scorer. How many years did Carmelo play there?
I think Carmelo might have done a year or two. I think he might have done one or two.
If he's not the record, like that dude was putting like 40 points a game. It felt like
because Carmelo went there, Brandon Jennings went there, Rajon Rondo went there. I think Jerry Stackhouse went there. Who didn't Ron Mercer go there too?
I think so.
Like a lot of people have gone to Oak Hill Academy. Like Oak Hill Academy is known for putting out top-notch NBA talent, and Cam Thomas went in there, played 2 seasons, and became their all-time leading scorer in that program. So he ended up going to LSU, and he plays with Sharif O'Neal at LSU right now. And as a freshman, Cam Thomas, he is 6'4", about 210 pounds. He's averaging 24 points a game, 3 rebounds, 1.5 assists. He's shooting 45% from the field. He's not really going to do much other than score the ball. So like I'll compare him to somebody like maybe like a Terrence Ross, someone that we spoke about earlier today, like someone that's going to go in and get you points in bunches. Like you know exactly what Cam Thomas is going to give you, and he shoots great from the free throw line. He shoots great from the field. He shoots about like 37% from 3. So he already got that. He has to improve that just slightly slightly more. He has to add a little bit more to his game, like maybe defend somebody for once. Maybe pass the ball a little bit more, but offensively, on and off the ball, he's gonna get his shot. Whether it's him coming off of screens, whether it's him on the ball, he already shoots from NBA range off the dribble in college games, and then he could come off screens on the baseline or off the curls on the wing and be able to get a shot off. So he's very good at what he does. He's not really being spoken much about in all the mock drafts and all the draft boards and stuff. For a freshman that's averaging like 25, 26 points a game, he's right now supposedly they got him like in the 20s being drafted, maybe even 30 if the last pick in the first round. So that's a name to keep an eye out for this season and in the draft. So because once he gets into the league, he's going to be one of those guys that he gets playing time, he's going to put up points easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the Knicks are going to have at least 2 chances to pass on.
The Knicks will end up passing on him even in the second round at some point.
No, Cam's nasty. I think you did a good job of like breaking him down. The thing is, like a lot of people, like if you haven't watched LSU over the past few years, they haven't been super good outside of when they had Naz Reid and Tremont Waters. But
yeah,
they're leading. They're like one of the leading teams in the SEC. I think they've only lost 1 game, and it's because of the surprising play of Cam Thomas. He's definitely carrying them. And
the last few games he's had 29 points, 32, 28, and 26. And in the last 2 games, like, and this is like just little things like this. This is already like pro stuff. Like
Right.
from
This
the
is
free
already
throw
pretty
line,
impressive.
Yeah,
like from the free throw line last game, he attempted 16 free throws. That's NBA shit already.
Damn.
garden stuff.
And the game before that, he attempted 11. So he's good at getting fouled and getting to the line and creating a shot. So he doesn't have an issue scoring the ball. The guy's really good. He doesn't really do much else outside of that of scoring the ball. But when someone is able to do that, you can't deny that skill.
Mm.
Yeah, no, he's the real deal. I think if he keeps playing at this level and keeps getting better and like keeps producing this at this level, he's definitely going to turn into a lottery pick.
Yeah, I agree. I think eventually he could end up in that at the end of the season.
Yeah. So that means the Knicks are only going to pass on them once.
So now moving on to our final segment, the Drip Report, where we cover the week's best outfits and worst outfits. John, you want to kick us off right now with our outfits?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll do best to worst.
Okay.
Number 3 for me, my third favorite is Chris Paul. He wore this Chinese brand actually that hasn't quite made it to the US called Feng Chen Wang. Pretty popular in Europe, but he wore it's this overcoat that's like spliced with a puffer jacket on top. But he wore that last week with a pair of John Geiger, like his new cargo pant and the Fragment 3s. Pretty good. I like that. That is definitely one of my like favorite looks of his. A lot of times he does things a little bit more like suited or like straight sweats. This is a little bit more fashion forward with the jacket. The Feng Chen Wang the jacket's super cool. Number 2 for me is, I mean, he's going to be on our list a lot, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He wore the like tie-dye cashmere cactus plant flea market sweater with the Syracuse dunks. It's kind of is a casual look for him, but like it's just that sweater is sick as hell. And it's probably my only time where I liked an outfit with the Syracuse dunks. Like, you
haven't liked any outfit with the Syracuse dunks?
Nah, and that was the first time I was like, okay, shit, you did that really well. Not surprising. And my favorite actually for this week, who was one of my top ones last week too. I appreciate this style a little bit more than most people, I guess, but it was Kuzma. He wore Raf Simons smiley sweater, oversized sweater with these like really cool oversized kind of like sloppy slacked YSL trousers and a Dior sneaker and a matching black mask. So for me, I think when it comes to styling, when it comes to like you having a fit, it needs to be head to toe. It can't just be the shirt and the pant and the sneaker. It needs to be the full fit. Black sunglasses, black mask, black bag, yellow sweater with the black detail, black pant, black shoe. It's, to me, it's like, it's the full fit. I like this. I think it's really cool. Definitely a better, I don't know, one of the better looks for Kuzma for me.
Okay.
Worst for me. I'm trying to think of what order I'll do it this way. Jordan Clarkson wore a kilt. And it's cool, man. It's fear of God. Great. Like, it doesn't mean it's fucking cool. Like, it's kind of played. The kilt thing's pretty played to me also. He's wearing like a navy puffer with this like brown and yellow plaid kilt with just, it's a pair of Jordan 1s, like, cool. But it just looks super funky. The kid didn't really pull it off for me. To me. I don't know if you guys saw Russell Westbrook, but this is oddly going to be my second Adam Sandler reference in this fucking podcast. But he looks like Billy Madison, or no, maybe it was fucking Happy Gilmore. It looks like Happy Gilmore outfit. He's wearing a gray hoodie, gray sweats, these like blue combat boots, and legitimately looks like he stole the bathrobe from whatever hotel the team was staying in that night. Just looks like a fucking bum. Like, I would love to see him next to Adam Sandler in Happy Gilmore, because it looks like the same outfit, just minus the bathrobe from whatever hotel Russell stayed at. And then the absolute worst, and it's for a number of reasons, Donovan Mitchell wore an awful printed Shirlene denim set from Casablanca. Tried to pull it together with like a turtleneck, a white turtleneck, to kind of like, I don't know, somehow bring it together. I do believe he's an Adidas athlete, which is why he's wearing like the newer retro shell toe Adidas shoe. But the pants are too short. They're so short that he sagged them down, so like the proportions don't hit right on the waist, and they're also too short. Never a good look. Which is something it's really hard to pull off. It's really hard to accomplish. It's short on top and bottom. Like, how the fuck did you do that? Like, I obviously don't have to deal with that problem because I'm a short human being, but I feel like if I was a tall human being, I would avoid this situation at all costs. He did not. The print on this itself also is just a hot mess. I get it. It's holiday time. You want to be festive. It looks like a Swiss Alps print with like a log cabin kind of dispersed throughout it. It's pretty fucking terrible. Sorry. That's a lot of swear words, but this one is it's really bad. And then it goes back to like, your whole fit needs to like coordinate, right? Your bag is black and gray, and you're wearing a white, brown, and teal fit.
Yeah.
You're clashing
I think
in a lot of
guys,
and it hurts my eyes.
I think a lot of guys don't realize that the accessories are part of the outfit as well. And I think the mask has to be incorporated now into outfits as well, if we're gonna go that route. And I don't think that they realize that, so they're just out here looking foolish now.
Yeah. It's
so
pretty
Denise,
bad.
you wanna kick it off with yours?
So I'll run with my favorite looks. PJ Tucker, when he's wearing like it looks like an oversized pale sweatshirt, and he has these like Miyake blue shorts. I like the texture that he balances with his sneakers, his socks. He's usually a pretty well dressed dude. So that's one of my favorites. I'd say DJ Wilson. It just works. I don't know what it is about it. I wouldn't call it monochromatic, like his look that he has. But it just works. And you want to talk about someone who like actually took the time to pay attention to his accessories, minus the mask. Like it seems like he just pulled the mask out of some arena worker. Maybe he forgot his mask because he just has like the surgical one. But
they're like, sir, you have to wear a mask. Take this. He's like, man, all right.
But like everything works, like the beanie, the zipper hoodie that he has underneath it. Even the Converse work for me. And then D'Angelo Russell. I like the Princeton sweater that he has on. Like the crew neck. I think he has like ACG like jogger pants. But the entire look, like he didn't have a mask. I don't know how you forget a mask, but he didn't have a mask, so it looks like he was using a shirt to cover it. But it almost looks like he's wearing a scarf. So I'd like to believe it's a scarf that's just covering half of his face. Yeah, I think he forgot his mask. But
I think it was a scarf.
I think it's a scarf, right? But he's like lifting it up, so I don't think he has a mask.
He's just walking around like this, like.
I'm gonna guess he doesn't have a mask, but I like the entire fit. And as far as
he was consistent the whole week.
Yeah.
As far as my not so favorite looks, Josh Okogie with the Balenciaga sweater. It looks like he just got it in. Yeah, he just got this in the clearance section. I just wanted to say he has something Balenciaga. I don't know. Then he has an off-white. It just looks corny to me. And I'm pretty sure he has like Balmain on his beanie or something.
He had a little like, what is it called? A slide of fits. And I don't remember who did it, but I think they were kind of trolling him because like the second slide, have you ever given your cell phone to like a 4-year-old and just see how they kind of hold it like weird, like a little kid, like posing sideways with his phone like that, and his like one foot's like raised. It's a very strange pose. He looked like a 4-year-old. But when I saw it, I was like, I don't want to call this guy out for this fit because all I can think about is how childish he looks. But
well, there it is. He's a childish guy.
With you, Denise.
Yeah. So that one, I'd say DeMar DeRozan. Like, he has the Rodman shirt, and I like it. He has a plaid jacket. I like it. It's the red sweatpants for me. Like, and it has the longest drawstring I've ever seen in my life. It's like a shoelace for it. And it just, it looks like a really cheap red. Like, it looks like he was like, fuck it, these pants are red. They'll match with what I'm wearing. As if he's not wearing enough red. I don't know. I wasn't messing with it. This drawstring really is what
started gangbanging.
It feels like I can just pull the drawstring from here. It's insanely long for no reason. And lastly, I like to be respectful with this player. So I'm gonna say this respectfully. Damian Lillard with the off-white yellow hoodie.
Your MVP.
And the freaking
those pants
the distressed sweat tights.
Oh.
The distressed sweat tights.
Yeah.
Distressed sweats will never be a thing. They have to go away.
It's a Miri. Those are a Miri actually as well, and it's like that shit.
Micah Miri needs to go away, man.
Yeah.
But they're just so tight. I don't know if you guys like. They look like pants.
Yeah.
They have the awkward.
It looks bad.
He has the awkward, like the I don't know, the zipper, everything about it. I was just like, damn, dog, you could do so much better. But whatever.
It's a legging.
It's the legging and it's the off-white sweater. I don't understand it. We're better than this, Dame. We're better than this.
Times have changed.
Dame is better than this for sure. So now my top 3 favorite outfits of the week. I'm gonna start off with Gary Harris. He had the Louis Vuitton, the monochromatic sweater with all the print all over it. He had the Fear of God pants with the off-white 5s on, and it was good. It's simple. It was just all black, everything. Usually when guys like Dennis Schroeder last week, when they wear the Louis Vuitton stuff, it's super obnoxious when you wear it together and you have to wear them separate to make it coexist with other outfits and stuff. So I think he did a good job with how he pulled off that sweater with that outfit there. So I like that one. I thought that was cool. Another one I liked was Jordan Clarkson, when he had on, I think it's a Rude camo jacket, and he had on the Visvam sandals and black sweatpants with the Go Yard bag and the Dennis Rodman tee. Like, he just looked like he got off the plane. He's just comfortable. I'm going to a basketball game. It's just a very simple outfit. He looked like he didn't put much thought into it. It was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna just go out there and do my thing. I thought it was pretty simple fit. I liked it. And then my other favorite one is Rui Hachimura. He had on I think it's like a leopard print. It's a leopard print button down with the Micah Miri denim, which I hate Micah Miri and his clothes. He was wearing Micah Miri denim and Jordan Dior 1 lows. He was wearing them. I think he bodied that, man. I think this might have been like his New Year's outfit that he put together. And it was a good job, man. It was a good job. I like the shirt with the shoes and then the black pants to offset it. That shit was cool. He did his thing. But fuck Amiri. And then my least favorite ones. Number 1, Ja. Ja's not even playing right now, so I don't think his outfit should be televised. But he's wearing a green jacket, a green Palm Angels jacket, a shirt that's black and green, black denim with green on them, and then he's wearing green sneakers. And it's like, yo, enough with the green, bro. We get it. We get it. You have green shoes on. You don't need the green jacket with the black and green shirt and the black and green pants with the green sneakers. You don't need that. You look like a fake $100 bill. Like, we don't need this right now. Another one, Kyle Kuzma with the oversized capital overshirt with no shirt under it. It's
that
an
literally
overshirt.
almost
You're
made
supposed to have a shirt. You have an overshirt. Wear a shirt under it, and it's cold outside. Where are you that you don't need a shirt under that? Then
Man,
he has on the.
You just don't get fashion. You just don't get fashion, man.
Man, don't worry, Jimmy. I don't get fashion either, bro. I wasn't messing with that at all. I was just like, I feel like this just looks rushed. What happened?
Yeah, I don't know what happened here. Then he got on the Raf Simon pants that Karis LeVert had on during the first week of the show, and none of us liked. And Kuzma put him on here with the Micah Miri fake Jordan 1s. Anyone that puts on the Micah Miri fake Jordan 1s needs to not play. So if anyone can get this message to Frank Vogel, Denise, tell him to not play Kuzma because this outfit is terrible and he should not be wearing Micah Miri sneakers. And then finally, he's making a return to the worst outfits. It's Karis LeVert again. He's wearing the Margiela Jordan 4s, like the knockoff Jordan 4 Margellas that look like they got ran through on the street with like the crack midsole with the patchwork black denim. And then he's wearing like a paintball splatter yellow sweater to go with it. Like, you can't wear patchwork denim like that with all those different color patches and then wear a sweater that loud. You can't wear both together. Like, you look insane. You look like you was just playing paintball and then your pants got stolen and you put pants together to go to work. Like, you just stitch a bunch of pants together. That's what it looked like. So Karis LeVert, now that's 2 weeks he's been in here, man. And it kind of sucks because you could see, if you scroll down his timeline, you could kind of tell when he got a stylist, and this is a stylist fit, and it hasn't been good. It hasn't been good for him. If you scroll down on his page, you could tell when he didn't have a stylist, and he was much better dressed when he didn't have a stylist. It's a little too much now. It's a little bit too obnoxious.
I don't know, man. The kids love it. The kids love them some Karis LeVert. They love him from Kuz. These dudes, I mean, I'm telling you, these dudes are marketable. I'm not fucking around. Like, these dudes are marketable as fuck. And it's because
of course.
The next generation fucks with this shit heavy.
The younger generation loves it, but we're here to pick our favorite and least favorite, and that was definitely not it.
They're gonna learn today, huh, Jimmy?
They're gonna learn today, man. And I hope the listeners learned something today too as well from us. This was episode 4 of Three the Hard Way. It's been real, y'all. Catch y'all next week. Peace out.
Peace.